2.
So as everyone knows, we've had this terrible sewer collapse on 15 Mile Road, which we have been fighting to fix with all the challenges associated with that since Christmas Eve, actually. And the fix is actually going to take the way that we will fix it is by lining this pipe with something that we call hobos, which this is a piece of hobos, and I can hardly pick it up. But it will line this interceptor, which is an 11-foot tall interceptor. It will line the interceptor so it will strengthen the pipe, and it will make the life expectancy of the pipe. It could be, several hundred years actually. So anyway, but it's very expensive. But we do have to do that. You have about 600,000 people who are flushing their sewage through this interceptor. 11 communities in what we call the MID. That's the Macomb Interceptor Drainage District. So within the MID, there's about 150,000 households. I think about 43 or 45,000 businesses. So many people are impacted, and we will be opening those bids and awarding a contract for the interceptor very shortly, this second week of March, actually. Now, we know we have to fix that part, but we think we may have some situation in the rest of the interceptor in the immediate area. And the only way to know what has to be done there is to inspect it. So we recently opened bids for the inspection, and I keep emphasizing bids because this is something new in the Public Works Office. We are bidding everything openly. We are going to be extremely transparent, we are going to be accountable, and I want people to be able to review these bids and see what we've done and make sure that we get the best price and the best contractor, and we think we do. We have excellent engineering advice. At any rate, we just recently opened up a bid for the inspection for the rest of the interceptor, about 91,000 lineal feet additional to the interceptor that we know we have to fix. Because it's the same pipe, it's a concrete pipe that was put in the early 70s, unreinforced, it doesn't have any re-rod in it or whatever. We're not aware that there are any issues with the rest of the pipe. But the only way to know that is actually to inspect it. So the inspection bid was for $1.5 million, and which actually was below the engineer's estimate. The engineer's estimate was a little over I think 2.2 million. So that's good. It was below what the engineer had thought. And we're going to hopefully have that work done within the next 3 to 4 months. So the inspection on the other part, sort of what I refer to as phase 2 of the interceptor, will be moving along at the same time we're going to be fixing the sewer break. We want this to be going as quickly as we can, because if we decide after the inspection is done that we need to do something with the rest of that pipe, while we have everything out going on site, this would be the optimal time to fix it. And again, it's very expensive. We don't want to fix something we don't have to fix. On the other hand, if we, and I stress we, because there are 11 communities in the MID, I would certainly want the 11 communities that we would all have a consensus that this is something that we want to do. Because, look, I don't want to have my successor standing in another sinkhole out on 15 Mile Road because of something I did not do, because we were short-sighted. So we need to have all the information at our fingertips to make sure that we can be making the very best decision for the ratepayers, because quite frankly, that's who's paying for all of this work, unless we're able to get some state or federal assistance, which we are exploring all of those avenues. And fingers crossed we'll get a little bit of help here, but we might not. And if we don't, we know that we have to bear the brunt of the expense of this. So again, this is Hobos. This is the first thing that this is the thing that we will be using to fix this pipe, and then we'll be inspecting the rest of it. And I should also tell you of the $1.5 million bid that we got. It's going to be financed actually under something called a SAW grant, which is I think about 90. I think they pay 90% of the first million, and then 25%, or excuse me, up to 20. No, we pay 25. That's what it is. So for the first million, we pay 10%. They pay 90%. Anything over $1 million, we pay 25%. They pay the other 75%. So it's great that we have this grant to pay for the overwhelming majority of the money that it's going to cost $1.5 million to inspect. But we might not have to line the pipe with Hobos. There are other types of things that you can do to fix a pipe, depending on what kinds of anomalies you might find within the structure itself. You can do grouting. There's some circular kinds of materials that they use to fix a pipe. We'll see. Whatever it is, we need to have the best information so that we can make the decision going forward. Because underground infrastructure, as we have all seen here, has a huge impact on our quality of life, on the way that we live, and as all of us know, as a society, and this is nothing particularly inherent to Macomb County or Fraser or the Mid, you know, it's happening all over the country, where you have all of this underground infrastructure that we have just not wanted to pay for to improve. You know, we put it in the ground, now it's underground, it's out of sight, out of mind, and we have other things that we think we need to spend our resources on. On the other hand, when you don't maintain something, you end up with what has happened with the sinkhole at 15 Mile Road. I don't think that thing was inspected properly or as many times as it should have been. I don't know whether that's true or not, but whatever. We know we have to fix it. And so we are going to proceed by having proper inspection on the rest of this pipe. And I'll also tell you this. We're doing something here in the Public Works called asset management, which means that we are going to be inspecting all of the underground that we have under my jurisdiction, so that whoever, again, my successor is going to have a very detailed analysis of what we have responsibility for and what is the condition of all of this underground infrastructure. I think that's a really important component of hopefully good leadership and responsibility for the job that you have to the public, the people that have to end up paying the bill on all of this. So thank you very much, and we are working very diligently on getting this interceptor fixed as quickly as we possibly can. And I guess I would just close on saying hats off to the folks that are out there working on this project, because if any of you have driven by there at 2 o'clock in the morning, you probably haven't, but if you did, you'd see the lights are on. They've got lights out along the pipe that they've been putting in, the long-term bypass pipe, and the pumps that are out there, and these guys are working like crazy, and we are doing everything that we possibly can not to have to discharge any raw sewage into the Clinton River. We had one discharge on December 27th. Of course, that was a few days before I took office. I took office on January 1st. That was a very bad thing to have happen. However, if they didn't discharge into the river, they would have ended up backing up sewage into people's basements, and obviously we are not going to be doing that. But we don't want to have an environmental disaster either by dumping raw sewage into the Clinton River. So we're doing everything that we can to try to mitigate the impact if we do have to discharge. And again, so far we've not had to do that, even though we've had some significant rain events. And I think all of us think about one of the principal reasons we live here in this beautiful spot is because we love our natural resources, the Clinton River, Lake St. Clair, and we certainly don't want to follow that. So anyway, we're going to get this thing fixed, and we're all working together, and I appreciate your time and your interest.